Right, Austin Healey, 19, I think he said 55. It's a BN2. I started with a BN1, which is, I think, basically the same car, but it only had a 3-speed gearbox. This one's BN2 with a 4-speed. That side front brake was locked on, so I went up to the garage where it was, freed the brakes off, and got the engine running. Poorly, but it runs. Just so we could get it on the truck.
Thank you on the list of parts as well.
Nah, that's all right. So what he's asked us to do is change all the front brake pistons, the front brake flexies and the brake shoes. He said the back brakes have all been done, but I'd rather just knock the wheels off and have a quick look, make sure they're okay.
Yep.
He's owned it since, I think he said 1970. He doesn't drive anymore, but his daughter's coming back from New York and she wants to drive it at the end of the month. So, and it's been cutting out. He'll drive it and it'll cut out.
Yeah.
So I suspect his fuel supply, because it's got the SU fuel pump on it underneath somewhere. I haven't found it yet. They have a filter in them and they never ever get cleaned out.
Right.
So check that. Blow all the air, all the fuel lines through. I don't think it's electrical because it's got a new coil on it and new leads and a new cap and all that. But the carbs are miles and miles and miles out of tune. So we'll whip those off. So rebuild the front brakes, get the engine running properly. It needs a tap, it's doing. I suspect the timing's out a little bit as well because it gets quite hot quite quickly, which is not normal. But mostly on these SUs, it'll be the carbs. So take them apart, strip them down. The throttle linkage is all messed up. You've got, so that's your pedal linkage right down the bottom there, yeah? But that, when you press the throttle, if you have a look, I'll press the throttle, it comes round and it hits the bell housing. You've got about 3 inches of free travel before the throttle does anything.
Oh, really?
So the pedal's right down on the floor. You can only get about half throttle, but you've got a adjuster there on the bottom. You can adjust it there and there on these bolts. You can adjust it there and there on the tension of those rods. Then you can adjust it there.
Yeah.
They're all adjustable, yeah. Everything's loose, flopping up and down, wobbly wobbly wobbly, yeah.
Yeah.
Then it goes across to there, and you've got where they put that big bit of metal through. That's your other throttle linkage there and there. Then it goes to that one there, which is completely loose. So you've got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points that can be loose and out of adjustment.
Yeah.
And obviously the pedal being in completely the wrong place, so you're never going to get full throttle. So it's carbs off, rebuild them. Generally they only have 2 little tiny cork seals that seal the main jet, one top, one bottom.
Right.
And they dry out when a car's been sitting for ages. I think they make rubber ones now, I'm not sure, or neoprene ones or something. So they all need stripping. The choke, which is this piece here, I can't imagine for the life of me that bit of bent wire is correct, but it could be. That's your choke cable, that pulls the main jets up, yeah? Okay. Or lowers the main jets. But that strange piece of bent wire there, I can't see that being correct. I need to look it all up. I mean, I've got a diagram here, but it doesn't actually show you the choke connectors. The choke arms look right, 64 and 66 being left or right. So then we just got to look then for the actual choke connections. But I think the cutting out is fuel supply until you start taking it apart and seeing how much shit's in the carbs and stuff like that. And then you've got to strip them, rebuild them, set your main jets. Then see these here, these funny shaped bits of metal.
Yeah.
So you loosen all of those off and you balance your carburetors side for side before you even start to do that up. Because you can set your 2 separate idles, one there and one there. That's your fast idle when the choke's on. Do you want anything, Robin?
Yes, please.
I'll have to feed him. He'll get all angry otherwise. Right, okay.
One comes up, one.
So that is original then.
That
This bit here didn't just look so Heath Robinson. That bent bit of wire.
Yeah.
But Robin's just sourced it, and it is original. So
it's called a stirrup, you say?
Stirrup, yeah.
Yeah, you got a front one and a back one.
We need a collection of Whitworth spanners. Right. Now I swear to God I couldn't hear that fuel pump yesterday.
Really?
So it could be intermittent wiring. Chuck. Push button. Miles out of tune, so I mean that's giving it loads of throttle just to try and make it pick up, you know. Yeah. Spitting out the carb, which is either too lean or the timing. So it just needs a general going over, you know. I think the first thing to do is pop the carbs off, and I can see what we need to order. I'll take the wheel off later, because there's two different size brake pistons to make sure we get the right size pistons, and then we can get all the bits ordered up. Still got the original filters in it, which is quite rare.
Did you say it's got a 2 litre engine, you said?
2.7.
What was the performance like?
They're nothing major, because you got to remember it's 1955 or whatever it was. So I think they'll probably go 100 mile an hour flat out. Right, so that's our throttle linkage off. Not the easiest thing in the world to get off these.
What, for accessibility? Or?
Yeah. Oh, it's got the vacuum bleed off, that's rare. On my hand there, that's stale fuel just pissing out the bottom of the main jet.
Okay.
Which is, I said, those two little seals.
Yeah.
We'll strip one later and you can have a look and see. So that's just a spanner I made ages ago. Cut the other end off, grind it all down so you've got a very thin wall.
Yeah.
You can get onto different bolts sometimes. Right then, it's set up carburetors. See all the carbon built up on the pistons there, look.
Mm.
Shouldn't have that much blow by on them at all.
Okay.
So what we'll do, you want to strip them one for one. So you've got to get those stupid bolts that are on the back there that hold the air filters on. They're an absolute f***er. And you don't want to get these mixed up right and left because they're all handed. It's quite a rare carburetor, this one actually. This one, not so much the front one. It's unusual to get them with that. I searched for a pair of these for ages for my TVR. Right, so that'll let that come free now. Now we need to split the two carbs in half in the linkage. Loosen off these. Let's loosen off our choke holders. Right, that's one carb separated from the other, so we'll just deal with the one at the moment. That all looks normal. Yeah, sticky chokes. That main jet should slide up and down in there really easily. If you pop the tops off of that, after you've dropped all the oil everywhere, rah rah.
Obviously.
That way you can tell, if you take the top off of here, your needle's on the bottom of the piston, and then when you operate your main jet up and down, you can tell whether that's binding, if the main jet is centred properly.
Okay.
Bit of oil blow by it. Ooh, they're sticky and horrible. So all of this is supposed to be super duper clean, you know, which clearly it isn't. So that's still sticky, so it wasn't just not the main jet centered incorrectly. That's what it is. If you look at that outer ring there, so that's your main jet in the middle, yeah? See it going up and down?
Yeah.
So that, you've got taper on the needle, that sits in there with the taper. So when you pull your choke on, that pulls that main jet down,
Okay.
and that enriches the mixture. Because of the taper, it's letting more fuel in. Okay, so that's sticky on the main jet, which is the bit that we know is probably the bit that's wrong. So let's take the chokes apart. I don't really need to know where anything goes. I've done hundreds of these things, so.
Okay. What's good and bad about these chokes? Carburetors, sorry.
If they're set up right, SUs are very nice.
Okay.
Yeah, they work nicely because they give a nice dull. Because of the damper system on them, they a lot of people fit them on Harley Davidsons, your big twins and that. Just gives a much more progressive, easy application of fuel, really. Right, so then your main jet will just pull straight out. So that's your main jet. Doesn't feel too badly worn. No lip lumps or anything in it. So generally, when you get this apart, that is your mixture adjusting screw.
Yeah.
So your needle's fixed on the base. That pulls your main jet up and down on the taper of that needle to set your mixture.
Yeah.
This is the one that centres the main jet. So we'll pop him out and see what's going on with the seals in there. Yeah, there's a lot of mystery and fallacy about SUs, but there's nothing that complicated about them once you get your head around how they work. Right, so you need a new washer in there. Look, that one's gone.
Okay.
Oh my god. You've got a little washer goes in there. That seals that. Inside there, under that spring, so that is all your main jet, yeah? You've got a tapered washer, another brass washer, and those are your little things that seal around the main jet, okay? So you've got a taper in the bottom of that. You've got your rubber with a taper on it, and you've got a taper on that washer there. So that all holds in there like that. There's one in the top and one in the bottom, and the spring, that small spring we took out, holds it all together, wherever it's gone, on there. So that compresses in there, that will go that way round. But they have been changed for the rubber ones, but for due course they do break down, so we'll get some new rubber ones. I think I might have some. And the other one is inside there, but that would never have sealed. It's all just falling apart, let's see. So that's not the end of the world. Right, so the only other thing to check then is there's nothing, basically nothing in there can go wrong. Fuel comes in through the bowl, through that hole, goes into the main jet there, vacuum sucks it up. So the only other thing to check is these are pinned, so you don't really want to take that apart. So then we'll take the spring loadie off of that. You can set them up as hard or as soft as you want. Undone your spring loader. Take him off. Right, see that? That much play. That should be sucking air in like mad. It's the one thing that people don't tend to do on them because it can be fiddly. But all you do, you pop your piston out and you buy a kit to put bushes in it.
Okay.
So you ream it out. Get a small screwdriver, hold on. Now it can either be the shafts completely worn. I prefer not to change the shaft because staking these, you have to drill the new shaft with that stake pin. If you get them out, they can be quite fiddly to get in the right place. But if the shaft is worn, there's not a lot you can do. So We'll give that a wiggle around. Try and get the piston out. Right, so that's your butterfly out. That's the only thing that's holding that in now. So then your shaft will pull out. Right, so that is a pain in the arse because it means I'm going to have to change the shafts. See all the blow violet? So that's going towards the engine that way. Okay. So what's that indicating? Look, see there, 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 and there. That's just air sucking straight in the carburetor.
Right.
So it doesn't matter what, realistically, what you try and do with that, you'll never get it to tune right because it's sucking air in through all the spindles.
Right.
So it'll be new shafts, and I'll have to try and gauge it and set it up, because if you get these in the wrong place you can end up not being able to adjust one carburetor properly.
Okay.
So you have to get them within a sensible point of where they came apart. Yeah, it's quite a rare carb body, that, just having that vacuum pickup on the bottom. Can you see the change in colour between the brass and the aluminium? Because that is basically what's left of the original brass bush. I think originally they were aluminium, so it might have been bushed a long time ago. I mean, he's done a lot of miles in this car. He's been all around Europe in it. And
Okay.
oh yeah, well, it was his wife's. Then unfortunately his wife died, then he stopped driving, so his daughter drives it now. So we need carb rebuild kits, there's no point. We'll just have a quick check. Right, so HS, that's just a carburetor reference book. So we're looking for Austin Healey, A, beginning of alphabet, 100 BN1 BN2 4-cylinder. So 2660 cc's, carb spec number AUC 718. So you won't come with an AUC 6020. I can really look up that. Right, let's see what needles are in it. CRK 205, it says, for a rebuild kit, if these are the right carbs. Right, it's a QW needle. H4. Well, that's saying it should be a QA needle. But, I mean, it runs, it's just you've got to get it set up right.
Yeah.
So what we'll do now is I'll put all those parts in one pile. It's when SUs really mess up, is when you've got mismatched needles, mismatched jets, all that sort of stuff, you know. Don't want to mismatch these either. What you do with these, yeah, you block those with plasticine, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that can breathe through, you put that in there. Hear it pushing air.
Oh, yeah.
So when they're blocked, and then you turn it upside down, and you do what's called a drop test.
All right.
So you block all the holes, and then however many seconds it takes for that to come out the bottom,
Yeah.
you can tell you whether your seal's good or not. Because all it is those lines there form your seal.
Okay.
But generally, when they're all cleaned up, they're all pretty good. Right, so that's that carb. This one's a little bit more complicated because you've got your fast idle system on it, but nothing major, you know. It's just, all it is as you pull that choke down, look, it rolls up the throttle, see it? Which is hardly doing anything, so that's all set up wrong.
Mm.
It's just a matter of fannying around with it and getting it all set up right, you know. But you can order these parts somewhere. Normally they have a number on them, so you can cross-reference it all, you know. Shouldn't be that tight. It's holding an air filter on. Great.
Start doubting yourself. Is it left or right?
Yeah. Let's have a look at the floats. We haven't looked at those yet. They should be tighter than that. I've just undone that with my fingers. It's got the correct breathers on it. Your float bowl has to vent to atmosphere.
Okay.
So you have those little see those little raised sections on that?
Yeah.
Just holds that off of there, so when you tighten it up it doesn't seal down on top of that, and then your air can get out of those. They look very high. Check the floats, make sure they're okay, and full of shit.
Not too good, is it?
Nah, but it's what's expected. Is what I'm saying. That SU fuel pump, they have a big filter on the side of them, it's probably just full of crap.
Yeah.
Which could be why it's deciding not to work properly. That looks way too high to me. That should be 7/16 of an inch with a round bar in there, if I remember correctly. That's a lot higher than that, so your float level's out.
It all contributes, doesn't it?
Yeah, everything adds up, yeah. So that can all be checked. Might need new fingers for it. Like I say, if you've never done one of these before, take a note of where everything's coming apart. But obviously I've done God knows how many pairs of these, so. Again, see that seal's all disintegrated. So whatever, anything like that, it's either letting petrol out or sucking air in.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's never good. Pop the top off of that. But these should all clean up quite nicely when they're washed down. Yeah, nothing's done up tight on any of these. Which, I mean, they shouldn't be frantically tight, but they should be tighter than finger tight.
Yeah.
Ooh, that was very juddery. That wasn't nice. Okay. Oil everywhere again. Get the rest of our main jet centering system out of the way. And what you do when you set them up, see that shoulder on the needle?
Yeah.
You just put a Stanley blade across it so it holds it dead level with the base flush here. Okay? And then you just do your screw up tight. That's it. Because otherwise you can push that needle up and down all over the place. QW, which is what we had in the other one, wasn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, it should have been QA, but we've got QW. That's right, they're matching. That's not an issue. That's our balance link bar. Let's take our spring loader off. And you want to try and set these up like that. Spring on that one, spring loading on the spindle was a lot tighter. Yeah. You want to try and set them up the same, because it'll pull one butterfly harder than the other. And anything where anything's worn, it can just make it worse, you know. It's not as bad, that spindle, but still not right. They've been on and off a few times as well by the looks of them. Yeah, normally they end up with a big bow in them and you have to put these on a faceplate and just sand them back in. Again, extremely worn spindle. You can physically see that dip in that. See it there? Just there. It's just, you can feel it by hand. So that's your throttle adjustment screw. That one doesn't matter. That can go anywhere. Just once you set up. So you might get away with just trying to get those out and just putting new bushes in. I don't know yet. Until we get the rebuild kits, then we'll have a look and see. Yeah.
Okay.
But the important thing is when you put your new shafts in, you have to pin these correctly, like I said. So I'll probably make a piece of metal up or something to put that in there. Yeah, I can bend it on the drill press so it's drilled straight down.
Yeah.
And that way matters a lot as well. So you've got to get that right. But apart from that, well, that's it for the carbs until we get obviously clean them and get new rebuild kits. They should have a number somewhere on them. I think on the top flange to tell you if they're a matched pair. Yeah, M2, look, M2. So let's just jack her up quick, bang off the front wheel, and just check that what size the brake pistons are. Then I can order those as well in one hit. It's a really good way of getting your wheels off. You seen these before?
Wow.
Put a piston. This is why we need to replace the brakes. Because they're shot to shit.
Oh. What should that be doing then?
Should come out nice and freely, just pressurise up, but they've had it. So clean that up, see what diameter it is, because like I said, they did inch or 7/8. Right, so they are 875s, 7/8, isn't it?
Yeah, 875.
875, okay, we're coming in at 872, so that's what they are. Okay, so we need 7/8 brakes on the pistons, that's fine. So they are the same as BN1, I believe. We'll have a look and see, but okay.